growth is in the pain, not when you feel comfortable. When somebody's making, let's say, $80,000 each year, and when this person like to make 2 million each year, a to-do list makes no sense. You have to become someone who can make this kind of money, because the to-dos are very similar, but you have to think different, you have to act different, you need different friends. So you need an identity shift. How is it possible with sometimes such a low quality inside of the community to make so much money? How? When you guys are now implementing the quality inside of the community, then you will go through the top, through the roof. And some people do not even understand the metrics.
Thanks for coming, man.
Thank you so much. It's hard to get a feeling for it. If this is what I do, is it good or bad, or how? I mean, I'm now in the English market for a couple of months, so everything goes so fast, and I didn't expect this. And I'm very thankful and grateful to be here, to have a voice in the Skool game. So thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, dude. I'm curious, like, it's 2025 now, and Skool games was different about a month ago than it is today, and it feels like the taste in the air is a little bit different around Skool. And
Oh yeah.
how has all of that like affected your offers on Skool? Because it feels like you've always been pretty in alignment with this new direction that Skool's been going in
100%.
for a long time, but like now that
Yeah.
Skool's kind of aligned too, like how does that make you feel? Like how are you doing with all of that?
Happy. I'm so happy. In Germany, we say it plays in my cart. So everything, I don't know, it's good for my hand, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But and I'm in a very good exchange with the Skool team, with Sam Owens, and I mean, this is my world. This not this hard selling stuff, marketing stuff. I'm an entrepreneur now for many, many years. I have a big company, so the money game is important for me. But yeah, I'm my I have core values in life, and the first one is karma, and I'm also in this a little bit spiritual world. And so every time when I see it's too much money and running, I think this is not good for the long-term game. And I did not teach this in the last 12 months. And now with all the changes, I'm always telling my students, now it's going to our direction. And this is good for Skool. This is good for everything. And I always, not preach, but I always say, grow slow to play the long-term game. And I'm so happy. And I'm sure this is just the beginning of this direction. Yeah.
Yeah. I keep thinking about I can't help myself, dude, but when things like the rules change and the 3-month games is now the current game, I immediately am thinking about like what will happen in the 3-month period. What will the rules be in 6? I love to kind of like envision and think about like how this will continue to evolve, and make little predictions and guesses. It seems like it's such a
Let's
good
do
thing
it.
overall.
Let's make one.
What do you? Oh yeah. Okay, so do you have any end of the first 3-month
It's
period?
it's tough because maybe I know some things, so I can make a prediction. Then it's not a prediction, but I do not know everything, but maybe a few things. So my prediction is for sure. I mean, this is obvious when you see the mission of Sam Owens to bring 1 billion people together. You can't play just the money game. Otherwise, you have not 1 billion people together. You have 1 million entrepreneurs together, but not 1 billion people. So there must be another direction to keep on going with the mission. So when you are just in this money game, there are many people, let's say nurses or moms, that it's not possible. They can't play this game so much. So there must be another direction in the next years when the mission with the 1 billion people should become true, or have to become true. So I think there will be many changes in the future, and my guess is when the mission is 1 billion people find their communities. Let's say a community. My math is very bad, but let's say a community have 600 members, 600 to 8, or let's say 1,000 members. How many communities do we need? 1 million, right? Something
Mm,
like this or so. So
mm-hmm.
in my head is there must be some changes, because otherwise we will not get 1 million successful communities who are running, not just creating and deleting or archive it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so in the
Mm,
future, I think a person have more communities and not just one or two. You will have maybe then 5 or 6 communities in the future, and
mm-hmm.
the members are running the community. You are just the creator, the founder, something like this, and
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that, man. I hope that
And
there's
one more
yeah.
thing. Let me. Sorry for interrupting you. I didn't know if you saw it when you. I don't know. Can I share my? No, I
Yeah, share it.
can share my
I'll throw
screen.
it on the stage.
Um, when you go into the school games in the leaderboard, and then you see the categories, in the school game ranking. And
Mm-hmm.
5 days ago, on the first was business, then hobbies, then music. When you now take a look, the first one is hobbies. So when you
Oh,
open the leaderboard, the first leaderboard, what you see is hobbies. Why? Is it by accident? No. So somebody like to have that somebody on the school team like to have when we jump into the leaderboard that we see hobbies first. Why?
yeah.
There's always a reason behind it. And when you
Mm-hmm.
note, when you see, when you can read between the lines, maybe then it means school like to have more focus on hobby, communities, music
Mm-hmm.
on the second one, business on the third. 5 days ago, business was on the first. Yeah.
Yeah,
See, music,
I see
hobbies, music on the first. Yeah.
business.
So when you click on leaderboard, you see hobbies first. Why
Mm,
not business anymore? These
wow.
are signs.
Yes. And they added love in there as well. I saw love.
And you know it. Sam is testing out things. He do not tell when something is new. He
Right.
play around. He take a look. What will happen? Yeah.
So the way that you run your communities is really unique, Calvin. I've been noticing through Joel, who's in your community leadership school community, that you're very you have a different standard for the work that somebody has to put in to seems like to be involved in the community, and you have a different process than I've seen anywhere else for onboarding and going through a flow before you kind of can just come in and get what you want and do what you want. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I just launched the community, so let's see how it works. I have to adjust things. I have ton of experience in German communities. I created more than 30 communities in the last 14 months, and I'm still admin in 13 communities. But the international one is a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
and I now see that some of the members are a little bit like, this community is tough. It's very direct. It's very strict.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not so fun. And I think this is the biggest difference. I guess I was the first one on School who implemented this rule in my community: no I or me posts. Nobody did this before.
Yeah.
And this is tough. At the beginning, when you join my community, it's tough. So it's not so much fun. But when I was a business coach, I always said, I'm not here to become your friend. I'm here to make you better. And I don't care if you like it or not. I will tell you what will work.
Mm-hmm.
So, and some things it's not good for communities. And so I implemented it, and I delete posts a lot in the beginning. And I'm very thankful that I would say 99% of the members are saying yes, thank you. It's tough, but I understand, and this makes me better. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
this is, I think, the biggest difference. I do not know any community who is harder in moderation than
Yeah.
my own one. I'm not proud of it, but I have to do it because this is my style. This
Yeah.
is, yeah,
Where does that come from?
from the military, of course. I was 10 years in the military. I was an instructor, and I was, I think, a very, people call it in America, they always telling tough love, I guess is the right
Mm-hmm.
word. That means it's very hard, tough, but it all comes really from love. So I mean it in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do it because I like it. I hate it. Every time when I delete a post, I'm like, oh my God, I hope this person is not angry about me, but I have to do it.
Mm.
And I'm very disciplined. I know I study a lot. It's not an emotional thing. What I do is rational, and I study it. And when I know it's working, I will do it. I don't care how it feels, because
Mm.
growth is in the pain, not when you feel comfortable. And when my members feel sometimes a little bit pain, or like, oh, this hurts. Sometimes I wrote last times I wrote, these numbers, this metric is a bad number. You have to work on it. And this hurts, of course, in the first moment, but I
Mm.
can help, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a military thing and how I was growing up with my parents. So I'm not, this types of person, this red, blue, I guess, yellow, and I'm not green. This, I'm not this harmony guy.
Mm.
I can feel other persons. I'm very introverted, but I'm very straight to the point. And yeah,
Mm. Do you?
I think it comes from the military, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I've noticed that my favorite group on School is a group of military guys actually. I feel like there's
Oh, the
a
guy with you did him in an interview, right?
yeah, team room.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
They've been my favorite for a while because they've created a really strong just bond and connection and culture in there. And I feel like there's a I mean the military is such a successful community in a lot of ways. And that feels like a really there's like a it feels like there's a difference fundamentally between how hard you're willing to go and what you're willing to do for your group.
Yeah,
It seems like it comes from potentially that experience, and I really love that. I feel like the it gives you a lot of vision too. Like I've noticed you have a very strong vision for what you're doing, and you're willing to carry it out somewhat ruthlessly because you believe in it.
yes.
And I'm curious how you develop a vision for a group. What was that process like
Yeah.
for you?
And I just Google it. How do you call it in Germany? We say Kameradschaft, camaraderie. When
Oh,
like a
camaraderie.
brotherhood, camaraderie. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And you only have this in the military. You can find in everyday life. And what
Mm.
I saw in the military, this word, this kind of brotherhood, or how do you call it?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you cannot create this in everyday life, because to get this you have to go through suffer, to pain, and in the military you have this. So I'm thinking a lot what I can do with my community to create this, so
Mm.
I can go through them to suffer, like running in the woods and experience, but maybe online. When I delete the post, when I delete this post, when I say this, everybody feels this pain for each other, like, oh, this dude. And
Mm.
what else makes a good brotherhood is, uh, I hope the translation is good. A common enemy. When
Mm.
you have together an enemy, and then yet that brings you together, and later the enemy steps into your brotherhood. This is the strategy of the military. When I'm the
Mm.
instructor, when I get new people, first of all, I'm the enemy, and
Mm.
they against me, 12 against me, and
Mm.
that brings them together. And this is my strategy. I'm in the early days in the military, you are like this, and
Mm,
Then they getting to, and then you're getting soft, you get a little bit more like this, and then you are stepping into this brotherhood. So,
mm,
and I think a lot how I can implement it in a community, because I don't like to be the enemy, of course.
mm-hmm,
Uh, but this is why military have this bound or bond together.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry for
Yeah,
my brain was away of your question.
it's great, man. I love it. Do you So a lot of your vision seems to stem from that experience in the military, and when you're thinking about building a community, are you mainly like building a community yourself? Is it your vision that you're carrying out, or are you collaborating with other people on a team and together you're working out how it's going to go?
No, not in my head, and not with the team. It's about the members, where the members like to go. This is why I change the title of my free community. I guess 8 times.
Mm,
I do not choose the direction. Um, I don't know if you or the listeners know the book. I guess it's Good to Be Great is the book. I'm not sure.
mm,
And there is an example of an entrepreneur. It's a metaphor. The entrepreneur has a bus, and then he said the old way is he drives the bus and he said, "I'm going. This is my goal. Everybody who like to join, step in, and we are going together with this bus, this direction to this goal."
mm,
And everybody who steps in is like an employee, and this is your team. This is the old way. The new way is you take a look, you collect your 10 friends, you rent a bus, and then you ask everybody, where do you want to go? And this is my vision for my community.
mm,
I just organize the bus, the community,
mm-hmm,
and I tell a direction a little bit. This is my plan. But when we are on the way, and when somebody say, "Oh, can we go? Can we make a direction?" Yeah, let's go.
mm,
Everybody else, okay, let's do it together. So this is my
mm,
vision and mission. And I think it's a mistake when an owner plans or a creator plans too far ahead. This is what many people do. When you look at my calendar, from March, no dates. How do you call it? No appointments. I do not plan longer than February. I do not
mm.
have one appointment in March. Maybe one or two, a big festival or so. But I think it's a mistake in the today's world, not in every job, but in a community game when you plan too far ahead because maybe your members like to go to another direction.
Mm. And so when you're kind of driving this bus with your community members and you're able to go anywhere depending on kind of the direction that the group wants to go, what do you how are you listening to your community? How are they helping steer like tactically inside? What are you doing on the level of like the day to day to allow that to happen?
I think because I rent the bus, because it's my bus, and because I invited the first 10 to 15 people in a community. This is why I always recommend to start with 10, 15 people, a community, and not with strangers. I think everybody who is invited in a bus, all my friends, we will get in direction together, one direction. So everybody new who's joining the bus, well, when this new person say, I want to go there, and everybody like, no, you have to get out of the bus. I'm sorry. So
Mm,
this is not your bus. So it's not chaotic when you start with the core of people, your community, and when you have a culture. So as soon as you have a culture in your community, everybody who's joining joins because of the culture. So let's say the bus is a beach bus. Everybody like to go to warm areas. This is the culture of the community or the bus. Nobody who like to go to Alaska will join the bus
mm,
because the culture is already there. But what many people do is they rent a bus, then they are inviting strangers, and then everybody's jumping to the bus, and everybody, no, I like to go this and there and this and there, and then archive the community. So, and when I'm driving the bus as a leader, of course, I will, I use language pattern. I a little bit, I direct a little bit. So, because this is my job as a leader, to give a little bit the direction, because not many people are talking in the bus, only 2 people are talking, like in every community. 100 people are inside, only 10 or 20 are talking. And don't think just because they are loud, everybody likes to go in this direction. You also have to listen to the people who are not talking much. So I stop the bus and I go to each person writing DMs and ask the level 1 members and the level 2 members, and not just the level 6 members who are there all the time. It's like when you're on a stage and you have, let's say, 20 minutes left, you have an audience of 100 people, and when you ask as a speaker, okay, what topic do you like have in the last 10 minutes? Then 1 people is screaming. That means not that the other 99 like to have this. He was just the loudest. And for me, it's more important what most of the people like. So I have to talk with the introverted people, with a level 1. I do not kick them out like many other do in the communities. And when you do this, when you care about everybody, you will get a feeling. And sometimes I tell 1 person, sorry, on the next stop, it's better you leave the bus. Maybe next time. Yes, sometimes I do this. But most of the time they will leave anyway, without that I'm telling them. Does it make sense what I say?
Yeah. This must be so. I feel like I can say that this is something that's like this has famously happened, because it's kind of Skool famously, but like you had a German. You didn't have any English speaking communities. You had German speaking communities, and I think it was like the Skool. I think it was Kirby and like Sam. They were going in there and translating it to English because it was so good.
Yeah, Kirby. It was on level
Kirby.
5 in my German community.
It was Kirby. And I wonder what, like, with that aspect of being willing to remove people from the bus, that to me is like a dedication to quality over quantity that
Yeah.
is a really good long-term life thing, honestly, like to think about in life in general. It seems like it's ingrained in you to go in that direction. And like when you had sort of the school team looking in your community and you're doing these things, in school is kind of, I would say at the time they were kind of maybe soul searching a little bit, because they were on the monthly cycle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, I mean, how was that moment for you, seeing that they're in there? Like, how did that feel?
Evan, I have so many screenshots of Sam Owens that you can't imagine, because I was so, what the heck is going on here? Yeah, first of all, we are all pioneers. All the money maker, school game winners. We have to be thankful that they did go to this direction, because then we can all learn and then we can adjust the game. These guys are the pioneers who did the run and I don't know how to call it, with the money making thing. So first of all, we have to be thankful. But I was always in the Sam Owens energy. I'm very similar to him in many things. I'm also very quiet person. And then there was one day I was that was in a time when I had 2% churn. Right now, I have in my community, in my longest community, what right now for 1 year, I have 12% churn, but in my other one, still 2% churn. And on that day, I told Sam Owens, I have 2%. How can this be? Or it was 1.5%. And he said, can you make a video? What do you do inside of the community? And then I recorded a video, a 20 minutes video. I sent it to him. And then he wrote me back, I have to watch this video 4 times because it was packed with content.
Mm.
And then I answered him and said, "Are you sure it was about the content, or was it about because you didn't understand what I'm telling you in English?" No, no, it was about the content. You go so deep inside psychologically like no one before. And when I saw this, I'm like, wow, okay, because I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned my skills. You know, I do not know my skills because many things feel, I do this now for 20 years. 20 years ago, I created my first community, a forum with 5,000 people. I do this now for 20 years, imagine.
Mm.
And when he told me this, I know, okay, so maybe this is a skill. And maybe I have to go deeper inside because this seems maybe a little bit special. This, and then
Mm-hmm.
the name school scientists, people call me, and yeah, but I was so confused. And I'm still confused because this is now very strict and direct. I'm sorry for all the people listening. Now
Mm.
it's a little bit, you know, the Americans, I learned so much from you guys. You are so good in marketing and you are fearless. You have balls. We Germans, we are, no, we have to wait. It have to be perfect and all this shit. And you guys going, you are cool. You're going outside. But when I take a look inside of the community, I ask myself, how is it possible with sometimes such a low quality inside of the community to make so much money?
Mm.
How? When you guys are now implementing the quality inside of the community, then you will go through the top, through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And some people do not even understand the metrics. They're making 100 grand a year. And I'm asked, what does it mean? I don't know. They just do the marketing stuff. And I'm today, sometimes I'm still confused, like, how? But yeah, the international guys are fearless, they action takers, they love the hustle, the grind, and the Germans are absolutely different.
Mm.
This is crazy.
Mm-hmm. It seems like I wouldn't call the marketing good in America. Like
No, it is. I
I,
mean,
I
you
would
guys are
say it's a.
always ahead in online marketing.
Well, the thing is
You
it's
guys are
like
always ahead.
it's like actually morally bad, but it's like the marketing is highly effective. So it's like
Yeah.
it is good. It is the I get it what you mean, but it's like yeah, it's something that
I
it's disappointing in a way that there's not enough connecting this like important bridge that's like if you're that if you're that effective at marketing, you have to be equally or better at the delivering on everything in the inside. It's wrong to bring people in and to under deliver, but that's not
I
as
had a
woven
call.
in to the I don't know to the culture here.
I had a call with a very successful school game winner. I do not say name right now, and I asked him how many people leave your community, and he said 40 or so. And I said, wow, when 40 people are journeying a month in my community, my heart is broken. He said, no, no,
Hmm.
no, a day. 40 leaving a day.
Oh
And I said,
wow.
and are you worried? No, 60 or 50 booking a day. So it's growing. And
Oh.
he was cool with it.
Hmm.
So, and I'm like, maybe it was 20 and 40. I don't know the exact number, but it was much. I'm like, when so many people are leaving my community, I feel bad. I
Mm.
feel like I did something wrong. And he was like, yeah, we are working on this, but at the moment we are getting every day 30, 40 new members. So we are growing, but yeah, we have to work on this. You know, the German guys
Mm.
are like, no way. I mean, no, no, we can't handle this emotionally.
Mm.
And yeah, I feel Americans like just get more people that leave. And the Germans are
Hmm.
more, no, why do you leave? Even when two people are leaving the community, why? What did I do
Mm.
wrong? You know, like
Hmm.
this.
Yeah, in here it's just kind of like a math problem. They're like, "Well, how many are leaving?" that's how much money I have to spend, to I got to get
Mm.
that many it's kind of a yeah. And so do you have clients where people are kind of like in this state where they are good at getting people in, and you're helping them sort of go to leave the dark side where they learn about fulfillment and they improve the quality? What is the starting point for somebody that's doing this sort of thing? Where do you start if you find somebody that's like they know how to pack people in and people are leaving and in mass, and maybe they're just trying to overcompensate at the time? What would be your starting point to helping them?
Well, first of all, I don't think it's good to change someone when he's in this kind of energy. I'm running 4 communities for a big client in Germany, and it's everybody knows his name is Dirk Kräuter. He's a very big person, making nearly, I guess, 80 or 100 million each year, and he run 4 communities, making a lot of money. He's one of my best friends as well, and he is that guy, this sales, and well, I'm the opposite. Now I'm running his community,
Mm-hmm.
taking care of things. But when it's in his nature, when he feels good, it's okay. So I would not say, no, you can't do this. Of course, I take care about certain things, but I think we have to figure out what is our nature, what do or the community members like, what do they want, and maybe they are loving this game. So I noticed this in my community leadership community when I said no, let's go a little bit slower, and I said I don't like to win the school games, but because my member said, now you can win. In 3 months, you will win. Let's win together. And my member said, come on, let's do it together. We will win with this community. No, I said, don't like to win. I'd like to be focused on quality. I don't care about winning.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they were a little bit like, why is it bad? And I
Mm.
saw their nature is a little bit different.
Mm.
So I try now to show also a little bit more marketing. This is the bus, what I mean. When my bus is telling me, the people in the bus are telling me, these are is a little bit more my nature, and it's kind of the international nature a little bit more in this marketing. So I have to adjust myself.
Mm.
But I always, when you do the math, I do not tell them emotional things that they will change. I do the calculation. I show them exactly. Look at the math. Look what happened when less people are journeying. Look about what happened with your time management. You have less work. You have less this. You have to produce less content, and you will save 17 hours. When I do the calculation, I'd be like, okay, now I got it. Now I got it.
Mm.
So everything is about stats, metrics, and so I think it's very important.
Mm.
And of course, the long time game. I mean, the long term game. When 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 I see when the revenue is dropping down, I mean, okay, it's just the money, but that makes something with you. It's pressure inside when
Mm-hmm.
you see the money is dropping down. Not because just of the money, because everybody can see it. There are so many pressure things inside, and this is what we do not need in the long-term school game. We need fun
Mm.
and or positive pressure, but not this negative pressure. And yeah, but it's in the nature, and you can change the nature within 2 weeks. It's
Mm-hmm.
a journey about a couple of months. I had this too. This is why I have this sign on my table. That means awareness or attention is more important than focus. Because in my early days, I was focus, hustling. And then I changed everything and I said, wait, when I observe more, I can make better decisions. I can go way faster
Mm-hmm.
and longer than always be focused like this. And, you know,
Mm-hmm. What do you think of the term "follow your passion"? Like,
hmm
are you familiar with the? I mean, I think it's Steve Jobs said at a commencement speech. It's There's sort of following your passion and making a group, And then there's kind of learning about a market and determining a skill you want to learn, and there's different paths to even getting to the point of deciding what to start. And for people that are young, they don't have experience. um well, what do you think
Mhm.
of that follow your passion? And I'm curious, like, how people should think about that in relation to starting a school group in the beginning for people that are
Love it.
elementary and new to these things.
This is a deep question.
Yeah, let's
I
go.
love it. Yeah, yeah, I love it. So first of all, I think in the early days when you are young, you have to play around. You have to try things out because you have to find the passion. And let's say you try something out and you like it. You do not know if this is your passion. You have to try nine more things out to compare it, and then you can figure out if it's your passion or not.
Mm,
It's like when you only know one temperature of the water, you do not know if it's cold or not. You have to compare it, and then you can figure out. So, to find your passion, I think you have to try many things. But the reason why I think passion is very important, it's when you start something and when everything is working, it's all good. But when it goes down, then you need passion to master this deepness, the deep, I don't know how to call it. Uh, uh, when it's not working good, then you need passion to keep on going.
mm,
And some people are start business just to make money. They try around, and when it's not working, okay, then I think this business is not good for me. I think there must be a better one. So I try a new one out. So, and this is not the best way. Maybe when you are 17 or 18 or 20 years old, but later you do not have the time I mean, when you like to become something. And when I let, oh, now it's very deep.
mhm,
All the time in the last years, my next business, what I choose, was never because it was my passion. It was because people need my help, want my help, and they said, "Kelvin, can you do it?" And I'm like, "If you're interested in it, if I can help, okay, I do it." So my passion was maybe not so big. It was a little bit there, but not so big.
mm,
And I think it's possible to create a passion for it when you change the rules of the game. So when I am overweighted and I have to go to the gym, this is not my passion, going to the gym, but I'm 100% sure when you write a to be list and not a to do list, you can become someone who's passionate in this. But you have to find or you have to change the rules, buy new shoes, wear a great outfit, go with the right people, and then it turns more into a passion. So I think when you see you have a gift of life and you see other people telling you you are good in this, do this and do that. Maybe I don't. This is not my passion. Think about it. You can make it to a passion because I am very sure that you can change. It sounds crazy, your identity. I am very sure you can change your identity, how you think, how you feel. I did that many times. I wrote
mm,
a to be list, and then I did this, and then I start loving it, and
mm,
then I can serve the people. So this was crazy right now.
mm. So what have
Do you
you
have
written?
maybe you have to do a summary of what I'm people
Yeah.
think I'm crazy.
No, this
Was it
is
wild what I'm telling you?
this is really great, dude. I'm really connecting with it, and I'm curious, what have you written on your to be list before
Yeah.
for you?
So yeah, in my case, I mean it's for everybody different. In my case, it was um I was made for going out and talk on a stage to influence other people. People saw when I start talking, I was very, Liz, yeah, yeah, and this is my nature. So, but in my life, seriously, I'm so introverted. You can't imagine. Every day I'm for 14 hours alone. Even I have a family with 2 kids. 14 hours a day I'm in silence. I'm alone here.
Mm.
I love the silence, and this going out to the people and doing it. So I have to become this. Do you know Masters of the Universe, He-Man? Do you know this action figure? No?
Oh, I've
Maybe it's
I've heard of this action figure. I don't.
He-Man, Masters
Let
of
me
the
let me
Universe.
open this up.
So he changed from Prince Adam to He-Man and Grincher to Battle Cat. Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah. And so he can do a transformation. He was Prince Adam or Clark Kent into Superman. Different characters.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's necessary to serve the people even more, you have to become someone. And it starts by writing down the attitudes or the character things, what you need to be this. So I wrote down, talk more, be more, talk to strangers, smile, look at the eyes when you walk on the streets to other people. So I wrote everything down, and then I was practicing this. And then, first of all, it was like acting. But
Mm.
then after a while, it becomes my nature. And now I can switch back and forth. And I am absolutely authentic.
Mm.
At the beginning, I was playing it. Another example, when somebody is making, let's say, €80,000, $80,000 each year. And when this person like to make 2 millions each year, a to-do list makes no sense. He have to become someone who can make this kind of money,
Mm.
because the to-dos are very similar, but you have to think different. You have to act different. You need different friends. So you need an identity shift. When you are drinking alcohol, you are a lazy person and you have to become a sportsman. A to-do list will not help you.
Mm.
It's a to-be list. What attitudes, what people around you need, and yeah. So when I need to go to a certain direction, I take a look at myself. Do I have this? And if not, okay, I can learn it or I can become it,
Mm.
and then I do the job. And after a couple of months practicing, I become it, and then I can serve. Yeah,
Mm.
I do not recommend this to everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but this is how I do it. So 1 year ago, I was a business coach, and I was very successful, making a ton of money. And then I went all into Skool
Mm.
because I saw this is a better mission. But then I have to think absolutely different. I was on stage, the guru model.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was tough at the beginning, but it's a to-do list. And then I
Mm.
can become it.
How
Yeah.
is like you've been gaining popularity on Skool? How is that like aspect for you? How do you think about like becoming influential on the internet? How does that compute in your mind? How do you think about that
Yeah.
status?
I still don't know how much it is, or is it like this, because I don't feel so. And I don't like it so much when I have status, or
Mm-hmm.
when people saying, "Oh, you're a legend," and I hate birthdays when I am, getting a gift and everybody's watching, because it's
Mm.
all about me. I hate it. When I
Mm-hmm.
was on the stage, I was done with my presentation. I did this for 5 years. And then I tell the host, when I'm done, please call my name out that I can leave the stage, because I don't like the applause to stand there like this. I hate it to get
Mm-hmm.
applause, because for me, it's my job, and I don't need that somebody's telling me that I'm good or great or something like this. Because I don't like to feed my ego too much. I
Yeah.
did this in the past, in my early days. I was looking for attention, for feedback. And now I'm in a state, I don't like to feed my ego. So, yeah, when people are telling good things about me, of course, I'm happy. But I'm a learner. I'm still a student of life.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody who's watching me is better than me in most of the things. there's maybe one part where I tell myself I'm the best. That's community leadership. But in everything else, you are much better. And I like to learn from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy, but seriously, I don't like to feel special or something because I'm not. I was bad in school. I'm just a dude, and I serve. I do the work and I serve, and I hope I do this great. But of course, I sleep very well when someone's or you guys telling something good about me. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
feels like wow. So I'm very happy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
You have kids, right? You have
yeah,
kids?
yeah. I have a
So
2.5-year-old. What
yeah,
about yeah?
I mean, when your kids was born, life changed. Now, from now on, it's not about you or your wife. From now on, everything is for the kid. So this was what happened to me when my kids were born. Life is different.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's not about me, what I want. Now it's about the future for this little girl or this little boy. So
Yeah.
everything changed, and I love this.
Mm-hmm.
I love this so much. It was also kind of a freedom thing for me because I was so busy with myself. Do what I like to have, what I want, my goal, my future. What is my future? What is my goal? I don't know. But when my kids were there, I knew what to do. Make them a good life, be a good role model.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped me a lot. And now it's not just the kids, it's the community.
Mm-hmm.
Do it for others, and it feels great.
I totally know what you mean. I feel like I often like reflect back before having a girl a couple years ago, and I'm talking to my wife about this all the time actually. We're often like reflecting back about like how we there wasn't really anything to tie everything together. There was like
Mhm.
there was a missing piece, and so it was much easier to get sort of stuck in these little races to some weird end and like
Yeah.
realize like, oh, I was just I was just trying to win some game and I wasn't being myself. And
Mm.
since having a kid, it's almost like there's an automatic mode of doing things for her first and like I've noticed what affects her, and it's basically everything. It's all of my
Yeah.
being. If I start to become an asshole, she starts to become an asshole.
Mhm.
It's immediate, you know. If I start to obsess over something that's unhealthy, then she gets every little bit of what you do. It rubs off and then she feels it, and it just comes down to like I don't want this little being that you know you watch enter the world in complete innocence. It becomes this mission of like protecting and helping her retain herself and learn her creativity, and in order to do that you just have to walk the walk. You don't have any options. You like
Mm.
you can't hide, you know. It's too it, they're too sensitive.
I
And
love it.
and that's yeah. How many kids do you have?
Two,
Two.
18
And
years old,
18 years old.
twins, boy and girl.
Wow.
Yeah.
18 years. How is an
Yeah.
18-year-old
It goes fast, my friend.
man,
Yeah. You know, I mean, you're wearing a nice hat, girl dad, but
yeah.
one day she will come along with a friend, with a boyfriend. Oh, so many things will happen. I love it.
Mm,
Yeah.
oh man. Yeah. There's a lot of a lot of moments ahead. We're in the physically difficult part. It'd probably be more mentally taxing in the teenage years, I've heard, in new ways, but it's like it's physically hard because we live like on a mountain, and so we're hiking
Mm.
up and down. She has endless energy, somehow can climb up and down rocks all day, and I have to keep up and support and be, and
Yeah.
and so for the stage I'm in right now, it's like very physically demanding. I'm realizing like I need to be more physically. I've realized this for a while, and I'm working towards being more physically able so that she can do everything she wants to do because um
But this is what I mean. Your kids give you reasons to do
mm,
something, and the kids are making your life more worth. You know, uh, this is what happened to me when I was alone. I did everything for myself, for my pleasure,
mhm,
but then everything changed, and it feels so much more worth it to do something.
mm,
And it was a great feeling. Yeah, it was tough. I mean, twins. Babies, two twins. Imagine you have two of them. So
mm,
this is what tough time. So I'm very happy now they are older,
mhm.
but it's so beautiful. Yeah.
So that, how does that like, I think a lot about vision. I guess what I really think about is like you have to apply like a creativity to help people, even if they're helping you decide where to go in the bus. Like you have to
Hmm.
build an attractive bus, and then you got to keep
Yeah.
people on the bus, and this is all like the creative work, and a vision comes about so that you can do this the
Mhm.
most effectively. Do you think that this I'm the process of like parenting and how that like meets up with this process of like creating and having a vision to help groups of people? Do you like, do you attribute the way that you envision things like in
Again, the
some
last.
ways to that?
What is tribute again? Say it again, please.
Attribute, do you give credit to this experience you have as a parent? Like, to do you give a lot of the credit to, well, I've done this has helped you do that, or did you, were you before being a parent, were you always this person that had
Mm.
this creativity, this vision, this the same style of approach?
No, I think we go through different parts of life. This teenager thing, and then the partner, then kids, and then after you have the kids for a while, when you go into the 40, 50-year old, then everything changes again, how you think. And yeah, I mean, what I do, I would say 60% of the day, of my day, is observing. I This is most of my work. What I do, I
Mm,
watch, I study biographies, I watch people, and I try to think in consequences, in the second consequence, not in the first one. So this is what I do, maybe 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day. I observe, watch, learn, and then the creativity comes from things what I see, what I observe.
mm-hmm,
And when you then, Steve Jobs says, connecting the dots, or when you're reading between the lines, for me it's obvious, obviously, where the direction is, and my goal is always to be there where the ball is going to, and not running behind the ball.
mm-hmm,
I try to be ahead, and as a driver, my job is to watch, observe, study, to make the right decisions, to say this is not a good way because
mm-hmm,
this is a good way because, and I have to watch, I have to study and not working. And also in my everyday life, every second month, I travel to a different country to leave my daily routine for 1 week. I do this every second month, alone, not with my family, to break the pattern of my daily routine.
mm,
So I try to go in a country with another culture, another time zone, a little bit. Uh, Everything should be different. And then I'm in the awareness mode and not in the focus mode, because I can do the same things there, what I can do at home. And this pattern interrupt is very important for me. So, and
mm,
sometimes I travel in a country where I've never been before. It's like on the map, like this. Okay, Singapore. What is Singapore? What can I do there? So, and then I go over there and study and observe and reflect my life, what is different, and all these stuff. And yeah, and of course, I'm very spiritual, and taking my science from there. And yeah, I'm always ahead. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not never the first one, but if you ask all my friends, they always ask me, "How do you know? Why every time before there's a big change, you are a half year earlier?" When there was this coronavirus, half year before, I changed my whole company into remote. We were 10 people in a big building. And I
Mm.
said, we have to test remote. I have this feeling remote is better. So let's go remote. And then we implemented everything. And then there was this virus. And we were all remote. And everybody was asking, how? I don't know. I didn't know this.
Mm.
But I don't know. Intuition comes from experience. So you have to collect a lot of experiences, and then your intuition gets better when you can read between the lines, thinking it in the second or third consequence, and then it's easier. Yeah.
Yeah. The spiritual part of you, does that part of you help you improve your intuition? Is there a practice or any, how do you think about your spiritual
Oh,
practice?
I'm so deep inside the spiritual thing. Maybe it's too much for this talk. Otherwise, people think I'm crazy. I live in a Asian family now for 19 years. So my wife is from Germany, but both parents are from Laos. That's near Thailand. And after the last 18 years, I spent
Oops.
a lot of time with monks, Buddhism monks. So we have a temple here. I support them. The monks are visiting us. I visit them. I spend time with them. I was a monk. So many things. And yeah, I read a lot of books about everything what is spiritual. Carl Gustav Jung. I studied everybody.
Mm.
So uh, all directions, all directions. So the scientist side, the other side, and I think it's necessary for a successful entrepreneur. One day you have to take a look at the spiritual side as well,
Mm-hmm.
not just the business side, because there will be a moment in life where you say, is this everything? The money, the success? And then you are looking for something more.
Mm.
And before you fall into a hole and then you are taking drugs or whatever, uh, make sure way before you're taking a look at other things, what you maybe cannot understand, but it's there. And in this Asian culture where I live, they are thousands of years ahead. Everything what for us is crazy, for them it's normal. And
Mm.
I saw things, I'm like, okay, this is a little bit too much for me. But I learned it after years and years. And so, yeah, I studied a lot. And I think I'm in a good partnership with my spirits. And
Mm-hmm.
so I work with them, yes. Other
Yeah.
people call it religion. It doesn't matter. But I know there is something there, what you can't touch it, however you call it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm partnering up with these spirits, and it
Yeah.
works very good. And I
Yeah.
think one day you need something like this, a belief or in something bigger. Yeah.
Mm. It feels like your intuition has come from your this combination of your business, your personal, your spiritual experience. When
All
you said
together. Yes.
when you said experience, like a lot of people have a lot of business experience, but they don't necessarily get an improved sense of intuition from that, or better. They don't make better decisions sometimes, even though they have that experience. And I think the missing piece is that whatever that spiritual thing is, whatever that like seeking out practice is, has to be there. And so you said you were a monk for a while. You gotta tell me about
Yeah.
that.
Not so long,
Yeah.
just for a ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't like it. You have to shave your eyebrows and everything, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't like it. So, but my father-in-law were dying, and then it's like the more monks are there, he will come to the nirvana, to the heaven. So you need a lot of monks, and this is better to for the transition. So the short version. And so my son, myself, we have been a monk then to make the ceremony and everything. And yeah, I don't like to do this so often because it's too much for me, too many rules as a
Mm-hmm.
monk, more than 300 rules.
Mm-hmm.
And but I do, it's a good inspiration. So
Yeah.
what I do in everyday life, I change my clothes at home. I have two kind of energies: the business energy, and then I'm looking like this. I wear Air Jordan stuff and this. And when I switch the energy, I have orange color clothes, hoodies.
Mm-hmm.
I change the background of my phone and everything
Hmm.
into monk, orange juice, and then I walk slower, and this is then my other energy. So I'm between the worlds. Sometimes I'm in business mode, in this beast mode, then I'm more in this monk mode, then I read different kind of books, I study different kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very important not to go too deep in one direction, otherwise you will get addicted. I was close to get addicted in making more money, making more money, making more money,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't. No, this is not good.
Mm-hmm.
So my father-in-law told me always be in two worlds with one leg, 50-50. Both are very important, and they can bring it together, and this is the best, and this is what I try to do in everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the orange is this like is this Buddhism in as far as monastery and monks? The
Yeah, this brown orange color
mm-hmm.
thing, and that reminds me of this energy. I
Mm-hmm.
have many triggers in my everyday life to remember some things. I have triggers everywhere.
Mm.
Everywhere are signs and pictures and small details. So when I see this, I remember, I'm aware of it. Yeah, I
Mm.
work a lot of with these things.
I it's interesting that you kind of like have one foot in each world like that. I've noticed there's the business style inspirations, there's the spiritual style inspirations, and then there are also the there's like the like I think of Michael Singer who wrote like it's like business and spiritual. It's like the soulful business style as well, the people in the middle. And I'm curious of your book, of your recent book readings. Of like you said, you read biographies. You probably have a combination of different types of books. But
Yeah.
what have you been reading lately? Like where do they tend to fall on this spectrum, or do you like shuffle them out and switch back and
Yeah,
forth?
I have my. Oh man, what I'm reading right now is very crazy shit. Um, yeah, different kind of things. Yeah, the thing is when I was start making money, I'm there was a point for the last couple of years. I always make around 1 million each year, and I can easily make 2 million when I go into the grind. But then I think when I make 2 million, I can't play every day 3 hours Call of Duty, or I can't do this and that. So I have to not force myself, but I have to say, no, this is not so important. Also be aware of this and that. And yeah. So at the moment, crazy things. I have a lot of synchronicity books. I
Mm,
have a book of Wu Wei, Lao Tse, I have here. But I also have a book about biography about the trainer of Mike Tyson,
mm,
Custamato. It was a boxing coach of Mike Tyson. I have the biography here.
mm-hmm,
Then I just started studying P.T. Barnum. I don't know if you know him. P.T. Barnum was a circus director. It
mm,
was then an effect was called of his name Barnum effect. It's like when you are horoscopes and the wording, marketing patterns are very strict, very deep business shit. I would say.
mm-hmm,
So yeah, I have a biography of Kobe Bryant, and then right beside Kobe Bryant here is a book of Deepak Chopra.
mm,
That's it's the opposite of the Black Mamba mentality, you know. It's Kobe Bryant, and then it's Deepak Chopra, and yeah, I'm always back and forth, because it's very important for me. Because I'm a guy, when I develop a passion, I become this.
Mm.
And so I have two big books to recommend. What I have all the time, I listen these two books all the time. The first book is Relentless from Tim Grover. That was the personal trainer of Michael Jordan. And this book
Mm.
is dangerous. I mean, when you watch or read this book, man, you are in a hustle mode, and you're not getting tired. This book is dangerous.
Mm.
Relentless, Tim
Relentless.
Grover.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you read this book, I also read how to how is the English word? Dale Carnegie, wie man Freunde gewinnt, how to
Yeah.
become friends, how to
How to win friends
the
and
English.
influence people.
Yeah, right. This one. These two books I'm reading all the time, because they are badass in their way, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and in a combination, one day this, one day the other, and yeah, this is how I think, how my life is. Yeah.
Man, yeah, the Dale Carnegie book is a bit of a legendary book that I've noticed a lot of people pick it up frequently to be reminded and to kind of align and get the superpower again as it
I mean,
starts
when
to fade.
everybody will read this book, we will have a good world.
Mm-hmm.
This book is how to treat each other in a good way. It's a beautiful book. Yeah.
Mm. I love that book. I love the Four Agreements. It's another one. It's another one in the similar vein that I pick up a lot. That's just like about words and treating people the right
Do you
way.
read a lot?
Yeah, I read a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I read a lot.
What do you
For
mean with a lot?
well, every day I'd say I read. Some days I don't, and then I'll go through seasons. Like, I mean, the school games, going for the school game season. It's like I didn't really read
Yeah.
during that season. It depends, but like I think in a during my best sort of self time, I'm usually reading like pretty regularly. And I have all my business books. I did this thing where I got all the business books out of my house. I put them at like my shop. I have like a business office in town, and then I put all my business books like on a Kindle. And so all the books I see every day on all my shelves are all of my like spiritual books, all of sort of the deeper related books that aren't super success financial success focused or like that type of focus. And so the business things, I tend to read them like I'll read like on a plane or when I'm on a trip or when I'm away from my house. And I've defaulted to basically like, like the Deepak Chopra style books where it's
Yeah.
like autobiography of a yogi. There's a few like the Four Agreements, for instance, that like I mean, these books make you better in business at the end of the day.
Mm.
They're spiritual books. They're about being a better person and living a fuller life and learning about things that inspire me and motivate me. And even though it's not business related, I've found for myself that like they contribute to my businesses more than the business
Mm.
books do now. I think it's interesting to me every now and then to read a business book that someone suggests, like a biography or something. But for me, it's typically like like I got Amma. I got the book Amma over here. I read Silence Speaks a lot. Baba
Wow.
Hari Das book. This guy,
You know what I
yeah.
like? When people have the time to read a book. This is the
Mm,
crazy thing, because when I talk with entrepreneurs and I say read a book, then they say, no, I don't have the time. It's such a bad feeling to sit down and read. I have to work. And this is why you have to read a book, not
mm,
because of the content, what you will learn, because to get this feeling that you have the time to read it.
mm-hmm,
Otherwise, you are just running through life.
mm,
And when somebody's able to read, that says a lot about his identity. He
mm,
made many things right in life. When a person is a little bit older or can read, or even not too, I mean, in the 40s, 35, 40s, when you are very business oriented, when you in this time when you can read 30 minutes a day, wow,
Mm,
this is amazing. That means you take your time or a power nap
mm,
around, let's say, 12:30, not because you are damn tired, because it's good. And
mm-hmm,
then you say, this is, when somebody can do this, my biggest respect. I
mm.
love it.
Same here. Do you read regularly right now?
At the moment, yeah, I start again, but I went all in. So 8 months ago, there was no time to read. I
Mm-hmm,
was doing the stuff because my monthly costs are 70,000 euros, and I went all in, and I start with nothing. So I have to build the school game up,
mm-hmm,
uh, at least that I'm at 70K, and now I made it.
mm,
I made more than 70K. Now I'm at around 100K or so, I guess. And now I start reading again.
mm,
And before I went all in, one book a month, one book a week. So four books a month. So one book a week, yeah,
wow.
something like this. I have
Dang.
my own. I have a big office, and I have my own. How do you call the space where you can read books? Library.
Library.
I
Yeah.
have my own library here. I built a
Mm,
big room with a lot of books. I saw a screenshot of Bill Gates in his library that was so inspirational. I said, I like to have it here. So
mm,
I built my own library. I have a big wall with books and couches, and I sit down and read and study, and I love it. Yeah.
man. We got a little bit of time left, and I'm curious if you would walk me through your typical day. Like, what do you spend your time doing? When do you do what on a typical
Mhm.
day, and how dynamic is that for you?
So normally I wake up around, so it depends a little bit. Now with the international game, I have to stay up a little bit longer because of time difference.
Mm,
So normally I wake up at 6:30 or 7. Now sometimes 8:30 when I have to do it a little bit more late because the international thing. And then I go into the office and then I do my to-dos. That's not much. I would say an hour or two. So for me, it's very important that I have not more than 1 or 2 hours on task, what I have to do, and everything else I can do it, but I don't have to. So that was my goal. And now I have maybe every day, maybe an hour or so, things what I have to do, planning some things, maybe
mm,
a call, maybe answering some messages. So let's say 90 minutes or so. And then I start observing, watching, learning. I have my routine between 12 and 1 p.m. So yeah, I take my food here. My son is working here with me, and he take care of my health and my food and everything.
mm-hmm,
And then I eat something, and then I do a power nap for about 15, 30 minutes.
mm-hmm.
And then I keep on going with observing, learning, and go with the flow. I seriously, every day, I do gaming for at least 3 hours, Call of
Mm-hmm.
Duty. I don't know, it's in
Yeah.
me. And
Dude, I love Call of Duty. I haven't played since Indigo was born, but
yeah,
I played it every day for a couple of years until the day she was born. And
yeah,
I'm
it's
in the
very
first
time consuming, or
yeah, I'm in the first couple years is different than you got an 18-year-old or independent and you got the
yeah,
time. So
yeah.
but man, which one are you playing? Which game?
Oh, the last one, Warzone, Black Ops 6 it's now, and I play also ranked. I'm not so good at it
Mm-hmm.
because I'm old, so the ping is always bad. When you are old, the reactions are not like 18 years old, so I have to
Yeah.
camp a little bit. I have to
Yeah.
play a little bit slower.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and I do that. I mean, now it's 8:50, and at around 9:15, I go home. It's a 10-minute drive, and every day I do the walk with my wife and my dog. We talk. My kids are with their friends, and yeah. So I'm coming home every day at 9 p.m. Every day,
Mm.
Saturday, Sunday, every day. And people ask me, when do you spend time with your family? Well, my son is working here, and my daughter have a friend. My wife is working. My wife also lives together with my mother-in-law. You know, she's alone now because the father-in-law is gone. So I don't spend much time with my family. But when I spend time, we have we build a cinema room now in my office. So on Sunday we have a cinema day
Mm,
with the kids, their friends, all together. And so we do it like every evening the walk, and then here and there going to theater or something like this. But I'm very happy that my wife accept that I love to be alone. I'm very highly introverted,
mm-hmm,
and I need the silence. I don't spend time with more people. I can't. My power then gets off, and I'm very happy about this. And
mm,
yeah, a few times a week, I do something with the family. I'm married now for 19 years. We're very happy. It works. It will not work in every family because every human is different. Yeah. And of course, when my kids were younger, I was more at home.
mm,
We had every evening at 7 p.m. Lounge, or how do you call it? The food at the evening together,
mm-hmm. Dinner, yeah.
dinner at evening, every evening. But now my mother's working, maybe late. The kids are with their friends, so yeah, it's a little bit
Mm,
different.
man, that's it's a good life, Calvin, you've got for yourself.
Oh yeah, I have. I mean, I'm very honored. It was a long trip. I mean, I'm now 48 years old, and but yeah, I don't know how I deserve something like this. Seriously, I mean, this is crazy. I mean, every day I'm thankful. Every day when I walk in, I do my routine like thank you, thank you, thank you. I have here kind of an not an altar, but where
Mm-hmm,
my Buddha is. I sit
mm-hmm,
down, thank you. I appreciate everything, and I believe strong in karma. When you give much, you will get much, and I try to be a giver. Yeah.
mm. Well, I'm very glad you're somebody who people are paying attention to right now in school. I'm really, yeah, I'm grateful that you're somebody people are looking up to and learning from. I
Oh, thank
appreciate
you.
your willingness to share your wisdom with everybody, and yeah, man, thanks for being on here. Thanks for hanging out.
I have to say thank you, man. You have such a warm energy. It's amazing. You have this kind of, it's hard to describe this warm energy. I'm sure everybody like to be your friend.
Well,
Yeah,
thank
you
you very
are this kind
much.
of guy in my eyes. You are a typical such a good friend. 100%.
Thank you. Now you know why I couldn't go any further than Matthew was one of the first people on this, and he's like, "Dude, you just have to call it hanging out, and you can't really do anything other than hang out. That's what you got to do." That's what, and it was right. It was totally true. I feel like it's not a yeah, it's not about telling a specific story. I think it's just valuable to hang out, and I think it's important that people see the real reason that people are able to make an impact, like people like you. It comes from a lot of I think it comes from a lot of experience in a lot of areas that I want people to nurture, especially on the Skool platform where it's it it can be kind of tricky that it's easier to make money. You can
Mm,
fall into a lot of traps when it becomes easier
mm.
to make money, and I think it's important that yeah, that we foster all these other things that balance that
Yeah.
out. So I thank you for the kind words, and
Oh,
thanks
thank
for
you, sir. I
hanging out.
appreciate it.
All right, man. See you later.
All right. Okay.